Today, it's an honor to be here and have the opportunity to stand here and welcome our graduates and guests to our ceremony. Today is about you. It's about your work. It's about your accomplishments that you've put in trying to become a better elected official for your local governments. We're proud to announce that this is the 20th graduating class of CMO officials coming through this year. It's the 17th graduating class of our Advanced Municipal Officials Group, and it's the very first class we'll have graduating with the designation of Municipal Official Emeritus. So if you would, give yourselves a round of applause. You're in part of a program with a very deep, rich history. With this graduating class, 1,170 municipal officials have received the designation of Certified Municipal Official. 578 officials have gone forward and received the designation of Advanced Certified Municipal Official, and 24 today will receive this designation of Emeritus Certified Municipal Official. We're proud to welcome each of you to the ceremony. Logistically, restrooms will be outside the door to your right, and I hope that you will all stay for a reception that's going to be held next door to behind the wall over here in your honor. This is an opportunity for us to just congratulate you again on the accomplishments that you've made today. At this point, I'd like for each of you to take out the envelope that you were given when you registered as a graduate today. If you would, look inside and you'll find a CMO pin. Remove that at this point. The Alabama League of Municipalities is pleased to recognize your accomplishments in our CMO Certified Municipal Official Program. You've completed 40 hours, 80 hours, or 120 hours of continuing education, plus 15 points of formal voluntary education to get emeritus. One of you have either gotten the basic, you've gotten your advanced, or your emeritus. The pin recognizes that accomplishment. This sets you aside from other elected officials. Wearing this pin signifies public recognition of your accomplishment, and we hope you'll wear it with pride. This is not the end of your training as an elected official. It's the foundation upon which your future in municipal government will grow. Today, we acknowledge and congratulate 76 CMOs, 43 advanced CMOs, and 24 CMO emeriti. Mayors and council members, at this point, please place the CMO Advanced Municipal Official, CMO Emeritus pin on your lapel. Again, congratulations. We ask that you refrain from taking photos at this time. There'll be individual photos taken immediately after the awards are given, and you'll have time to take photos as well after the ceremony is over. Again, it's an honor to have you here. We're glad to welcome you and glad to have each of you here. At this point, I'd like to call upon our commencement speaker, Perry Rockmore, for his address.
I personally want to welcome the 2015 graduates of the League's Basic, Advanced, and now Emeritus CMO program. I want to welcome your families to this graduation ceremonies. You've worked hard to get to this day. I want to personally congratulate each and every one of you. I also want to thank you for your dedication and hard work. It's not easy to obtain the credit hours necessary for these certifications. It takes a lot of work. As elected municipal officials, you have plenty of other important things to do for your city or town. Many of you have another job in addition to your city job. They always require daily attention. Not only that, but you also have many responsibilities to your families. So everyone in this audience should be applauded. The officials for their hard work and the family members for all of their support in helping these officials reach their goals. Let's give all of you an applause. I want to thank Ken Smith and Crystal Bell for asking me to give today's commencement address. Since the League was created back in 1935, education and training of municipal officials and employees has been a very important aspect of the League. The first League Constitution back in 1935 called on the League to promote municipal officials and employees on better ways to serve their communities. to educate them on better ways to serve their communities. The League has worked with numerous institutions throughout the state, universities, junior colleges, and so forth over the years for many decades to provide training for municipal personnel. In 1993, I asked the League's Executive Committee to look for an opportunity to institute a training program for municipal elected officials. The Executive Committee voted to support and appoint a subcommittee to study the feasibility for establishing a certification program. And the president at that time, Mayor Eddie Frost of Florence, appointed a subcommittee chaired by then Montgomery City Council member Elise Reynolds. The first meeting of the subcommittee was held at the League on February 7th, 1994. Ms. Reynolds, Mayor Frost, former Mayor Sue Glidewell of Rainbow City, and Mayor Johnny Ford of Tuskegee were in attendance. The League surveyed all the members to determine if there was interest in having a training program. Nearly 600 completed surveys were returned to the League, and 88% of the respondents expressed an interest in attending a training program designed for their needs. The subcommittee recommended that the Executive Committee implement the program, and the Executive Committee agreed and approved the program at its meeting in July 1994. Our program was only the second elected municipal officials training program in the United States. Since that time, due to the success of our program, a number of other state leagues have adopted similar programs. First training program for elected officials was held at the Adams Mark Hotel in Mobile, Alabama, September 22nd, 1994, and is continued to this day. Thousands of elected municipal officials have voluntarily given of their time and enrolled in this program, or one of the three programs, and have attended one or more courses. Nearly 120 municipal officials are graduates this year and will receive certifications in one of the three categories. Over 2,800 mayors and council members are elected by the voters of Alabama to run 460 plus cities and towns in our state. Why do they voluntarily run for office and, if elected, serve the people of their community? Do you run for the money? Yeah, I see. I guarantee you every elected official and family member of an elected official seated in this room can answer that question in a hurry. There's no way municipal officials receive a paycheck that adequately compensates monetarily for the job that they do. As I said earlier, the average municipal official has a regular job and a family to take care of. This in itself is a pretty full-time job. When a mayor or council member takes the oath of office, they agree to take on responsibilities for an acquired family composed of the citizens of the municipality on a 24/7 basis. Do you run for the popularity? Well, you're well known in your community. You can't go to the bank, grocery store, hospital, drugstore, or church without realizing this fact. Citizens know where you live and they know your phone number. As a public figure, you want to be able to help everyone in the community. This would make you so popular. But that goal rapidly disappears soon after you assume office. You realize quickly that you can't solve everybody's problem. First, state law might not allow you to do it. Secondly, the Treasury may not have the funds necessary to do what you would like to do. And third, the request may just simply be improper. I've always kind of followed the rule informally. If you can please about 70% of the citizenry, you're doing a dang good job. Because you're not going to please all of them. I don't care what you do. Do you run for the knowledge you obtain about your municipality and its people? You learn a lot when you're a municipal official. You know where every pothole is in town. If you don't, somebody will tell you shortly. You know whose dog is running loose. When utility services are disrupted and when someone's trash wasn't picked up. I bet you know. And these are just the basic bits of knowledge you pick up being an elected official. You also learn that out on the streets, there are many who, without ever serving in public office, know exactly how to do your job much better with less money. And they'll tell you they do. It's always been amusing to me to see candidates running against incumbents on a platform of changing the world. It's also funny when if they're successful, their campaigns completely change their outlook after the first few weeks in office. They found out they didn't know what they're talking about. I remember it was fact in Montgomery, the convention center across the street. Years ago, we did the orientation conference, newly elected officials. And a lot of these people didn't know who I was, and staff would walk out amongst them, during a break and things like that. And I'll never forget hearing this gentleman talking. If I'd known I had to do all this, I'd have never run for this thing. Do you run for the thanks and appreciation you get for a job well done? We all know how that works. There are many more that criticize than those who give thanks and appreciate your efforts. The articles in the press are not always great. Trouble sells more newspapers and gets more TV viewers than positives. So then why did you run? Why did you want to take on these awesome responsibilities with so little appreciation and compensation? In my opinion, the answer is that you love your city or town and want to give back to your community. In most cases, you grew up in that community and want to make it better. I know this answer is especially true for those graduates here today. You voluntarily spent many hours of time and money to attend the CMO courses. Why? You wanted to learn more about municipal government. You wanted to have better tools in your arsenal to help you perform your elected duties. You had a desire to become a strong leader in your community because strong leaders usually produce great results. Carl New, president of New and Company, former council member of Lakewood, Colorado, wrote an article that was printed in the Texas Town and City magazine back in 2010. That's the league magazine for the Texas Municipal League. He stated that effective leaders and stewards, especially at the local level, must learn, exhibit, and master at least the following 7 attributes. His 7 attributes of good leaders. Number 1, leaders engage people and their energies rather than give them ready answers and quick fix solutions. Number 2, leaders inspire themselves and others to their very best efforts. Number 3, leaders focus on the future and get agreement on common vision, goals, priorities, and direction. Number 4, leaders empower and support rather than control and direct people toward achieving desired outcomes. Number 5, leaders engender a perspective of we and partnerships, not I. Number 6, leaders are principled persons possessing moral behavior, character, values, and integrity. And number 7, leaders promote mutual respect and civility in all relationships. All these essential elements, according to Mr. New, can be preserved even in instances of controversy and disagreement by discussing the issues rather than attacking and belittling those with whom we disagree or whose opinions differ from ours. Similarly, in 2008, Dorothy Burton, a professional speaker, writer, and council member from Duncanville, Texas, spoke to the Maine Municipal Association on the 7 sins of leadership. The first sin of leadership is the mother of them all, arrogance. People admire confidence, but not cockiness. The second sin of leadership is foregoing purposes for popularity. No one can be all things to all people. Your purpose should never be about you, but always about those you serve. Third sin of leadership is ignoring your core or your conscience. The depth of our conscience determines our character. The fourth sin of leadership is lying. While lies are cheap, the maintenance and embarrassing aftermath are so very costly. The fifth sin of leadership is ruling out the rules. Follow the rules. Don't bend them. Don't break them. And don't cover up for those that do. The sixth sin of leadership is underestimating risk. When confronted with a situation where there is doubt, Take this simple advice because it works every time. If you're in doubt about it, don't do it. It's that simple. If you're in doubt, don't do it. Lastly, the seventh sin of leadership. As a public servant, you need to know your rights. You have the right to remain silent. An elected official has the right to remain silent. And I'm sure you've seen a lot of them in the news. You wish they'd have remained silent. You have the right to remain silent. Every email and every text can and will be used against you in a court of law or in a court of public opinion. Sometimes no response is the best response, and the delete key is better than the send key. John Burton, the league's first president, said public servants must lead and serve with integrity, must lead and serve with honesty, and must lead and serve with transparency, because so many people are depending on you. I have no doubt that each member of these graduating classes today will exhibit the 7 attributes of great leadership and avoid the 7 sins of leadership. Congratulations again to each member of the 2015 Basic, Advanced, and Emeritus classes for reaching their goal. Your constituents should be proud to have officials such as you guiding their cities and towns. Thank you.
As I call your names to come up and receive your award, if Perry will come forward and Lori to help him, they will hand you your award. Please come down, get that, and if you would move over to this side of the program of the session of the stage in order to have your photo made. And then if you would, please go back to your seat or go out in the hall. If you return to your seat, if you would, please be respectful to the other graduates and don't make any comments or don't and keep your it's just don't talk to your neighbors. We want to make sure that you show them the same respect that they show to you. I'll now begin reading the graduates. We'll start with the Emeritus Program graduates. Councilmember Sadie Britt from Lincoln. Mayor Phil Seagraves, Ewan. Councilmember Marva Gibson, Aliceville. Councilmember Jesse Matthews, Bessemer. We thought this would streamline things a lot. Mayor Tom Henderson, Centerpoint. Councilmember Bess Yarborough, Center. Mayor Billy Joe Driver, Clanton. Councilmember Tanya Raines, Dutton. Mayor Charles Gilchrist, Glencoe. Mayor Claude Bud Kitchen, Lincoln. Councilmember Billy Pearson, Lincoln. Mayor Roberta Jordan, Pine Hill. Mayor Melvin Duran, Priceville. Mayor Charles Murphy, Robertsdale. Mayor Wally Burns, Southside. Councilmember Charles Allen, Thomasville. And Councilmember Don Moore, Uniontown. The following officials earned their emeritus status but were not able to attend with us today. Mayor Gary Lewis Livingston in Eva, Councilmember Ben Reed of Gadsden, Councilmember John McGee of Killen, Mayor Leon Smith of Oxford, Mayor Fred McNabb from Pinkard, Mayor Howard Rubenstein from Saraland, and Councilmember Alberta Dixon from Thomasville. Please join me in giving these distinguished graduates a round of applause. Our advanced graduates today follow the same procedure. Come down and get your award, then come over here to get your picture made. With us today are Mayor William R. McKenzie, Aliceville. Councilmember Ralph Wells, Andalusia. Councilmember Betty Bradley, Argo. Councilmember Ann Brown from Argo. Councilmember Lonnie Murray Sr., Brighton. Mayor John Graham, Calera. Mayor Joe Lancaster, Carrollton. Councilmember Sammy Wilson, Clanton. Councilmember C. Rick Blackwell, Foley. Former Mayor Othell Phillips, Gardendale. Mayor Wade Williams, Hamilton. Mayor Rudy Rooks, Heflin. Mayor Alberta McCrory, Hobson City. Mayor Jeff Cheatwood, Hoax Bluff. Councilmember Gary Wayne Whitt, Hoax Bluff. Councilmember Vivian Holt Bean, Lakeview. Councilmember Shannon Phillips, Lakeview. Mayor Daniel Bruce Wade, Lakeview. Councilmember Joycelyn Tubbs Turner, Marion. Councilmember Patricia A. Patsy Jones, Opelika. Mayor John Bartholomew, Opp. Councilmember Charlotte Hubbard, Oxford. Councilmember Arthur L. Day, Jr., Phoenix City. Councilmember Gail Head, Phoenix City. Councilmember Foyle Brunson, Pinkard. Mayor Bill Gillespie, Jr., Prattville. Councilmember Wayne Biggs, Saraland. Councilmember Mike Butler, Satsuma. Councilmember John Hatley, Southside. Mayor William Isley, Springville. Councilmember Darrell Wilson, Tallahassee. Councilmember Henry L. Cooper, Valley. Councilmember Fred Lynch, West Blockton. Councilmember Patricia Johnson, Wilsonville. And Councilmember Rusty Barnes from Winfield. The following officials earned their advanced designation, but were not able to be here with us today. Councilmember Walter E. Ted Hazen from Chatham. Councilmember T. Dale Newdorf from Chelsea. Councilmember Robert M. Kleckler, Jr. from Childersburg. Mayor Virgil Skipper from Midland City, Councilmember Mary H. Brundage Opp, Mayor Jason Q. Ward from Lisbon, Councilmember Charles M. Booth from Opp, and Councilmember Arlen B. Davis Sr. from Opp. Please give these graduates a round of applause. It's now my privilege to present to you the 2015 graduating class of certified municipal officials. With us today are Councilmember Charles Z. Bailey, Albertville. Councilmember Jill Oakley from Albertville. Councilmember Thomas Tony A. Goss, Alexander City. Mayor Charles Shaw, Alexander City. Councilmember Bobby Tapley, Alexander City. Councilmember Billy Wall, Alexander City. Councilmember Strong Bruner Jr., Ashford. Councilmember Denise Herndon, Ashford. Mayor Annette Johnson, Bayou La Batterie. Councilmember Ron A. Mason, Butler. Councilmember Alan Watts, Calera. Councilmember Ezell Smith, Camp Hill. Mayor Joe Lancaster, Carrollton. I think I've seen you once before today, Joe. Congratulations. Councilmember Connie Robinson, Citronelle. Councilmember Sammy Wilson, Clanton. Councilmember Leslie Leanne Green, Creola. Councilmember James M. Tarpley, Dadeville. Councilmember Jack Burrell, Fairhope. Councilmember Josh Bryant, Fultondale. Councilmember Glenda N. Winters, Gant. Mayor Stan Hoagland, Gardendale. Councilmember Jerry Gann, Guin. Councilmember Richard Bittinger, Haleyville. Councilmember Randy Curtis, Hayden. Mayor Rudy Rooks, Heflin. Councilmember Will Culver, Huntsville. Councilmember John W. London, Irondale. Councilmember Dana Talbert Ford, Jackson's Gap. Mayor Daniel Bruce Wade, Lakeview. Councilmember Shelley L. Barnhart, Lincoln. Councilmember Jerry Sipper, Luverne. Councilmember Bobby McKenzie, McIntosh. Councilmember Michael Gay, Millbrook. Councilmember Stanley Allred, Millport. Councilmember Cynthia Lacey Hood, Millport. Councilmember Tracy Riley, Millport. Mayor Holly Cost, Montevallo. Councilmember Mike Lockhart, Muscle Shoals. Councilmember Thomas D. Morgan Sr., Opp. Councilmember Charlotte Hubbard, Oxford. Councilmember Anthony Hill, Ozark. Councilmember J. H. Jenkins, Pell City. Councilmember Dot Wood, Pell City. Mayor Edward Manuel, Pennington. Councilmember Arthur L. Day, Jr., Phoenix City. Councilmember George Roberts, Pinson. Councilmember Denise Brown, Prattville. Councilmember Lorenzo A. Martin, Sr., Pritchard. Councilmember Frank Riddle, Riverside. Councilmember Edward Pollard, Shorter. Councilmember Lisa Sconyers, Slocum. Councilmember Michael Ray, Somerville. Councilmember DeGeraldine King Henderson, Troy. Councilmember Lawrence Haygood, Tuskegee. Councilmember Geneva Jones Watts, Uniontown. Councilmember Diane Green, York. Councilmember Berlinda Hood, York. Those who earned the designation of CMO official but were not able to be with us today are Councilmember Reed Harper from Athens, Mayor Jim Staff from Atmore, Councilmember Tony Picklesimmer from Chelsea, Councilmember Ralph Rich from Childersburg, Councilmember Angisa Twyman, Childersburg, Councilmember Gary Hammond, Decatur, Councilmember Andrew Betterton, Florence, Councilmember Randall Whitaker, Gunnersville, former Councilmember Gwen Barber, Lincoln, Mayor W.C. Hayes, Jr., Maplesville, Councilmember Earl Monroe, Millbrook, Councilmember Samuel P. Rayburn, Millbrook, deceased, Councilmember James Prestige, Pennington, Councilmember Jim Carty, Phil Campbell, Councilmember Ruth Campbell, Robertsdale, Councilmember William Hamblin, Satsuma, Mayor Paul Murray, Satsuma, Mayor Gina Doggett Robbins from York, and Mayor Willie Mae Powell from Shorter. Please give all these officials a round of applause. I have just a few closing remarks, and then we'll go next door for the reception. First off, I'd want to once again thank your staff for their efforts in putting on today's seminar and the graduation ceremony. There's been a lot of hard work and a lot of long hours that have gone into this, and I cannot say enough about how hard and dedicated your staff has worked to make this session successful. I particularly want to thank Crystal Bell, who took the lead role in putting this on today. I'm firmly convinced you have the best staff of any league in the country working for you. And it is really my honor to work with each and every one of them every day. They make it just an absolute joy to come to work and to spend some time with them. I was also struck this year, I want to point out, by how important this program is to so many of you. We had a call, you'll notice I read a name from someone who had to be absent today, Councilmember Samuel P. Rayburn from Millbrook, who is deceased. We had a call this year as Councilmember Rayburn passed away from some of his family and officials in Millbrook who asked us if we would go ahead and print up his certificate so that he could receive that posthumously. And I believe they actually interned him with that certificate. And it meant a lot to me to think that we're representing you and serving you that well. And I want to thank each of you and congratulate you again for the work you do in helping represent the members of the state of Alabama and the citizens here. Thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause.